Welcome back to the Audit Guidebook Channel. So we've gone through the whole process of building our risk assessment. But what's the next step? I mean, we're not just done, right? Today, we are diving into risk monitoring. This is the secret sauce that turns a static audit plan into a living, breathing guide that actually adapts to our constantly changing business world. Let's get into it.
So whether you're an accounting student hitting the books, a brand new auditor just starting out, or maybe you're a seasoned pro just looking for a quick refresher, we are so glad you're here. This explainer is actually the final piece of our risk assessment series, so if you haven't yet, you should definitely go check out the other explainers in this module.
All right, so let's do a super quick recap of where we've been. In this series, we've already covered all the essential building blocks, right? We've talked about identifying and analyzing risks, all the way to creating mitigation strategies. So we have our audit plan. But now, we have to make sure it stays relevant.
And that brings us to a really important question. Once a control is in place and a risk is mitigated, is the job actually done? Absolutely not. No way. In a world of constant change, we're talking new tech, new regulations, new market pressures. An audit plan that's based on a single snapshot in time, well, that's just a recipe for becoming irrelevant fast. So today, we're going to break down the whole process of keeping that plan alive and kicking. We'll start with the why and what of monitoring. Then we'll walk through how to define the framework, track risks in real time, cover the absolutely crucial steps of updating and communicating, and finally, how this all feeds back into a cycle of continuous improvement.
Let's kick things off with the core concept. Why do we even bother with monitoring? And what are we really trying to accomplish here? Well, the whole goal is to transform our audit plan from some static document into something dynamic. To put it simply, risk monitoring is the ongoing process of keeping our eyes on the risks we've already identified. You can think of it as the engine that makes sure our audit plan doesn't just reflect the past, but it actually adapts to the present and helps us anticipate the future. This, right here, is what makes our work truly valuable.
So where do we begin? I mean, how do you actually do this? Well, every effective process needs a solid foundation, and for us, that means defining the monitoring framework. It all starts with setting crystal clear objectives. What exactly are we tracking? Then we have to define the roles. Who is responsible for what, and how often are they doing it? And maybe most importantly, we have to align our strategy with the organization's overall risk framework. This can't be some audit-only activity. It has to be totally integrated.
And this isn't just theory, right? Let's look at how this plays out in the real world. For a microfinance bank, they're going to be laser-focused on loan defaults. An NGO, they're obsessed with donor reporting deadlines. A manufacturing company is watching production downtime like a hawk. The big takeaway here? Monitoring is not one size fits all. It has to reflect what truly drives risk for that specific organization.
Okay, with our framework locked in, we can move to the really active phase, tracking risks as they evolve. This is where we stop reacting and start getting proactive.
And that really begs the million-dollar question, doesn't it? How do we spot these changes before they blow up into full-blown crises? How do we make that shift from being reactive to truly proactive? The answer is all about identifying the right early warning signs.
And this is where key risk indicators, or KRIs, are absolutely essential. Think of them like the vital signs for your organization's risk health. They are the specific, measurable metrics that act as those early warning signals, alerting you to a changing risk profile before it becomes a crisis. Let's see this in action. For that bank, the KRI isn't just loan defaults, it's the rate going above 5%. For the NGO, it's getting more than 2 late donor reports in a quarter. For the manufacturer, it's when machine downtime creeps past 10 hours a month. See how each one is specific, it's measurable, and it's directly tied to a critical business risk? That's the key.
But just tracking KRIs is only half the battle. We also have to make sure our existing defenses, our mitigation strategies, are actually working. We have to follow up and ask those tough questions. Did that new system really reduce errors? Is that new policy actually being followed by anyone? We're constantly reassessing our controls to sniff out any new weaknesses.
Okay, so we're gathering all this great data from our monitoring. Now what? What do we actually do with it? Well, this next phase is all about taking action, updating our plans, and communicating what we found. This is where the rubber really meets the road. We update our risk register. We bring in new risks, we adjust our priorities, and we even take out risks that just aren't relevant anymore.
This agility lets us focus our precious audit resources on the areas that pose the biggest threat to the organization right now.
And of course, this information can't just live in a silo. Communication is everything. We have to prepare clear, concise reports for management and the audit committee. We highlight the changes, we provide assurance on the controls, and we recommend new audits for those emerging risks. This is how we build trust and really prove the strategic value of internal audit.
And that brings us to our final section, because you see, risk monitoring isn't just about managing the organization's risks, it's also about improving the audit function itself.
This is that beautiful feedback loop that drives excellence. Every single monitoring cycle gives us invaluable lessons. We use that knowledge to update our methodologies, to get better at using tech, like data analytics, and to train our team on what's coming next. This is how the audit function itself evolves and stays ahead of the curve.
So, let's just tie it all together. This is a fantastic summary of the whole 6-step process. We start by establishing our objectives to get our framework. Then we track KRIs to update the risk register. We review our controls. We update our plan. We communicate the results. And finally, we use the entire process to get better and better. It's a really powerful cycle when you see it all laid out.
And you know, if you take just one thing away from this explainer, let it be this. Effective risk monitoring is about so much more than just checking a box. It's what keeps the audit function relevant, it's what makes the entire organization more resilient, and it's what builds a true culture of risk awareness from the very top to the very bottom.
Hey, if you found this explainer helpful, please do us a favor and hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe to the Audit Guidebook channel for more content to help you out on your audit journey. So I'll leave you with one final question to think about. Is your audit plan just a static photograph of risks that have already passed? Or is it a live video feed of the risks that are just over the horizon? Thanks so much for joining us.